All right. All right. Um, Hello everyone. Good evening. Today we have the honor of
All
one of
right.
our brother, Mr. Joshua, Mr. Josh, presenting
What
one
is
of.
Takri
Am
saying
I?
you're on
I'm
mute.
not.
No, she's not because I can hear her.
Joshua, can you hear me? Anyone else can hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can hear you.
I
I
can
can
hear.
Oh,
hear
can
We
you
you.
can
do
hear you
better?
now.
Okay, awesome. So today we have the honor of Mr. Joshua presenting leadership strategies and tactics, a field manual by Jocko Willink. Um, Without any further ado, I'll let him start his presentation. Thank you.
Okay, let me share my screen. Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Josh.
Evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
Um, Today the book that we are sharing is Leadership Strategy and Tactics, Field Manual. It's written by Jocko Willink, and it's a battle-tested leadership wisdom from a decorated Navy SEAL commander. Now, let's look at Jocko's journey. He graduated from the Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL training in 1991 and served for 20 years in the most elite Special Operations Unit. His role was commander of SEAL Team 3, also known as Bruiser. The Battle of Ramadi in Iraq provided him with first-hand experience in applying leadership principles under fire. His medals include the Silver Star and Bronze Star, awarded not only for his bravery, but also for his effectiveness under fire and as a command leader. After retiring from active duty, Jocko channeled his leadership philosophy into Echelon Front, a consultancy he co-founded with Leif Babin that helps leaders in the civilian world apply battlefield strategies to business and organizational challenges. He co-authored Extreme Ownership and the Dichotomy of Leadership. He also wrote Discipline Equals Freedom, and he hosts the top-rated Jocko podcast, sharing leadership, wisdom, and martial arts expertise. His books and podcasts serve as practical field manuals for leaders. Through Echelon Academy, he trains the next generation of leaders using real-world scenarios to teach accountability, discipline, and ownership. Uh, it's not working. Wait. Oh man. Okay, there we go. The book is written in a way that it covers 5 core leadership themes. And these themes are leadership fundamentals, building long-term relationships, subordinating your ego, organization and decision making, and building people and teams. Now let me delve a little deeper into these core themes. Theme number 1, leadership fundamentals. The 4 laws of combat developed during real warfare apply to every leadership environment, from combat zones to conference rooms. Cover and move reinforces interdependence, emphasizing that no team operates in isolation. When one element supports another, the entire mission advances. Simple reminds us that clarity is a force multiplier. If the plan is too complex, execution falters. Prioritize and execute helps leaders break paralysis in moments of chaos by identifying and tackling the most critical issue first. And decentralized command ensures teams remain agile by empowering every level to act decisively within the leader's intent. These laws are upheld by 2 guiding mindsets, which also happen to be the subject of the other 2 books: extreme ownership, taking full responsibility without excuse, and the dichotomy of leadership, balancing humility and decisiveness. Theme number 2 is building long-term relationships. Relationships are the currency of leadership. A leader who cultivates respect and trust up, down, and across the chain of command can influence outcomes even without formal authority. Picking your battles wisely means don't challenge every small error or personality clash. Doing so can create tension, exhaust your team, and diminish your credibility. Rather, focus instead on issues that could harm the team's performance, violate core values, or undermine long-term goals. Influence is earned through consistency and credibility. Whether it's owning your mistakes, supporting others during difficult times, or honoring your commitments, people follow those they trust. As Jocko emphasizes, leadership is not about control. It's about connection. Relationships are the bridge to everlasting influence. Theme number 3, subordinating your ego. Ego is often the unseen enemy in leadership. It convinces us that asking questions is a weakness, that taking credit is more important than sharing success. Jocko stresses that a good leader is not the loudest voice in the room, but the one willing to listen, to learn, and to adjust. Subordinating the ego means embracing humility as a leadership advantage. True confidence comes from knowing your strengths and also acknowledging your weaknesses. Leaders who aren't afraid to do their hard or menial tasks set the tone for a culture of respect. In practice, this means staying teachable, connecting with your team, and taking pride at the door, so decisions can be made based on what's best for the mission and not personal glory. Theme number 4, organizing and decision making. Making sound decisions, especially under pressure, requires the ability to detach. This ability to detach is what helps us avoid making impulsive decisions. Decisions made under emotion and without full awareness of the context. Jocko teaches us that leaders must step back from the emotional chaos of a situation, regain perspective, and then act with deliberate precision. Leaders also need to be brutally honest with themselves and with the teams. Whether it's owning up to a mistake or admitting to a limitation, clear thinking and candid communication are vital. Understanding your span of control ensures you are not stretched too thin, allowing you to give each team member the guidance they need to succeed. And the last one is theme number 5, building people and teams. Jocko emphasizes that leadership is not about creating copies of ourselves. It's about maximizing the potential of others. Great leaders identify each team's member's strengths and find ways to align those strengths with team goals. They also recognize weaknesses not as flaws, but as opportunities for targeted development. To build a strong team, leaders must be flexible in approach, mentoring, challenging, and adjusting to the needs of individuals. Leadership isn't a one-size-fits-all. With the right mix of training and recognition of natural ability, teams become resilient, autonomous, and capable of exceeding expectations. And just as a final thought, the true test of leadership isn't what you accomplish, but what your team accomplishes because of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Josh. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
thank
much.
you. Good
Very
on the time too. Good timing.
Thank you.
So as usual, we have everyone has about 3 minutes to chip in if they have a question. Also for Joshua, I'm sure he will welcome those questions too. So anyone who wants to take on the floor first, go ahead. It's open.
Can I go first?
Yes, absolutely. Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Josh, for the presentation. It was a great presentation. I guess a couple comments I had was like first going into the book. The question I had asked myself was, so a common thing about Navy SEALs is that each of them individually are incredibly accomplished, right? And most team leaders aren't leading a team of like incredibly accomplished, pretty prideful people, right? So I was hoping from this author to like learn basically is like, okay, a lot of books and a lot of presentations talk about how you lead a team, what kinds of things you do for a team. But I like the focus on like toning down the ego, being willing to listen, being willing to learn, right? Especially hearing it from like a person who's surrounded by like there are people who dedicate their lives to becoming a Navy SEAL, right? Their whole life is about this, right? So what kind of person leads these kinds of people, right? So I will say again, thank you, Josh, for the presentation. It's really insightful to like remember, don't focus on the pride, don't focus on like what you are, right? You're a team leader, right? And what you're aiming to do is bring out the most in the team. And I like that, like Josh emphasized that in the presentation. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. That was under 3 minutes, so good job. Anyone else, feel free to take on the floor.
Okay, can I go? First, I want to
Absolutely.
thank George for the great presentation. Um, I'm not gonna lie, but I did not read the book. I was very, very busy this week. However, listening to Josh's presentation, I I loved it. Like Josh made it so simple to understand and assimilate, right? So from Josh's presentation, I really, really love all the point. Like he made it so simple of all these key point that a leader has to have, right? And in my job, I have a leadership position, and all these key are very important. But the one that I personally struggle with the most is the listening part. You know, sometimes it's more important to hear what the other people want to say and not to say anything, right? But most of the time we want to say, oh, we want to make our point across, and sometimes it doesn't go across because the other team members just have their point of view and they are stuck on it, right? So the listening part is one thing that personally I have to master and listen to the other team and work on it. And I got that from a leader like who is higher of me last week when one person was very mad, yelling, screaming, talking, and she was just quiet listening for about 15 minutes, you know. And I really admire that she was quiet, and the one thing she said, that one thing happened. I need you to leave now. If you are not going to let me talk, I need you to leave now. And that person was like, I'm not going to leave, blah 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 blah. And she just quiet and really serene. And in that situation, I'm like, wow, if it was me who has to come in here and solve this issue, I will not succeed, because the fact that the other person is already yelling, screaming, raising the voice will upset me, and I won't have that quietness, skill to listen and just be quiet, right? So I I really thanks Josh for making the book come across so simple and understanding. And the one main thing for me that I have to work on is listening to the other. And thank you again. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Professor Lon.
Thank you, Dr. Baba.
Thank you. I clap for you.
Oh, I love you.
Okay. Someone love you.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
All
The
right.
floor is open to the next person.
Let me try. Let me try. The leadership books, it seems like we have several. So when we are having another, it seems like it doesn't encourage us to listen more. But first of all, I had to thank Josh about his clear and magistral presentation. It seemed like he might
Yeah.
introduce himself as a leadership expert, and no one will dispute
Yes.
that. It was so clear. So thank you for that presentation, and also the timing. It was on time, and everything was perfect in that presentation. And coming back to the book, he advised to be detached. Yes, on the book, on paper, you can be detached, but when you are in a real situation, sometimes it's so difficult to detach yourself from what is going on. The men who are in this group will attest to that, that when you have your friend who is courting another girl, you can be the rep going to that girl and say, oh, and talk. But when it comes to your turn to talk to your own woman or your own girl, sometimes you cannot even find the word to say because you are involved, the emotion is there, you don't know what to do. So to be detached, yes, is perfect on paper, but it might be difficult in a real situation. And he said that you had to show your your people or those who are expecting to be as your leader, you have to show them what to do. And I don't know if the Gen Z are comprised or are still part of it because the Gen Z, they don't want to do it anymore. Even you show them 10 times, they want you to go and do them the 11 times because they don't want to do it. So I don't know if that our advice apply to the Gen Z as well. And coming to coming to the listening part, I think that as Sister Colomb said, it's very important. And up to 4 to 5 years ago, I didn't have that one. But when I start listening to people, it seems like it makes your work easier. You find the answer to the question when you are very quiet. Don't pretend that you want to find a solution or what to say next. Just let the brain follow what the person is saying. And when the person stops, you might be shocked the way the brain will get you the answer and sometimes the right answer. So that's why I don't do two things when I'm listening now, especially when you come to my office. I will put all my hands on the table and start listening to you because I don't want to be distracted. So it's very important as well. And I think the book was good. And apart from the fact that some critics say that he repeats himself several times across the other books. Otherwise, I like it. And thank you again, Josh, for the presentation.
Thank you,
Thank
Nasir. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Jocko.
Mm.
All right. Anyone next?
Let
Our,
me jump in. I might spend 2 minutes and then I'll come back later. My special thank to Josh for the presentation. Like the timing, just a little bit above beyond timing, but very good compared to everyone else. Also, the presentation is clear enough, right, to get the message. You listen and you read it. Thank you for that clarity. And every day we get inspiration from each other. That's great. Going to the book, the key point I would like to just to repeat a little bit is like the leader inspired the team member to act when he's not there because the leader is the one who has like the vision, right? But the member has to be able to act when the if you're a good leader, the people have to work before you when you're not there and not be afraid like what you're gonna say. But we have some leadership also who want to micromanage everything, and then you cannot make decision in their absence. But it's not what the book is calling for. It's like teamwork and responsibility, discipline, right? Maybe what I was when I read the title, what I was expecting was like military skills. That like like when they say when you get up in the morning, you have to make your bed right away, right? That's those are stuff I was thinking the book gonna show, but the book is not about that. Like situation awareness, he talked a little bit about it. Also, if we take Bill Clinton as a leader, he remember names. I don't have that quality yet. I work with people when they come back, they call me, but I could not remember their name. I could not say anything. I'm still struggling with that one as for right now. And going back to finish with what Colum say, the listening part, because it's easy to talk than to listen, right? And we take our time to stay quiet and listen. Some people just want to be listening to.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't even want you to answer or do anything. They just want someone to hear them and they want to throw it out. But if you listen, it's already good. Now, if we practice mindfulness and we do like exercise, meditation, stuff like that, and we decide to be silent inside, and it will help us a lot. So whatever you feel like the leader did, and you say, try to mimic a little bit of it. When people come to, sometimes you and
Mimic
I,
a lot.
sometimes you and I, we argue. If you remember, sometimes I'm talking to you and you're doing something else, and I will stop talking. Right? Remember, I get you upset, and I say, no, you cannot be doing whatever you're doing over there and have the focus with me at the same time. So you can start practicing also partially leadership at home. If someone is talking to you, give them your attention and they feel like you're listening to them. But if you're doing something, you're working on the computer, your head down, and the person is talking, the person feel like, I'm just wasting my time. This person is not in the same place with me. So that's my contribution. Again, thank you very much, Josh. We'll try to look at the older book from that guy. Uh, Military leadership is kind of different from civilian leadership or religious leadership, right? So, but I'll stop there right now. Thank you, guy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing.
Thank you, Thomas.
Pastor,
I
you
talk
want
to
to go
myself
ahead?
also.
Yeah, I want to go next.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
Coming back.
I just want to say thank you to Josh for the great presentation. The PowerPoint was very clear and in detail. I met Josh at Trader Joe's a few days ago, and we were just, juggling about the book and how the author basically um, not portrayed the way we think, the way he put leadership is actually really different. Um, the book was different for me because reading different leadership book, I'm like, military and leadership. What will you rather get there? But as you go deeper into the book, you realize like just because you're a leader doesn't mean like you have to act right away. That's one thing I learned from the book. Just because you have the power to give command doesn't mean you should give command right away. Doesn't mean like you should boss people around. Because when he was talking about how their commander he thought he was leading everything. I think about we the Christian Moses. It was Moses. That's how Moses in the Bible, his leadership started. He was doing everything. He was juggling everything. Um, he was on when they said this part of like decision making, he was there. When they talk about like community case, he was there, and he was so frustrated, and he was doing things wrong. He was not listening. And as a leader, if you're taking over everything, that's when the listening part comes because you're trying to juggle everything. Now stress has piled up that you're not even listening anymore. But when they brought like the next commander, he started to listen to the team. And to their almost surprise, he was giving them tasks. If they bring their own things to to talk about, he would give them the 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 way to go and bring answers. So they would work on it all night, trying to impress him, and then they would come and talk and show how they did it, and he would just point the good and the error they had made, and they themselves would see the error. And I like the fact that he said, like, you have to detach yourself from the issue in order to be able to see vividly the solution to that issue. So sometimes it's like I'm like that. My tune. I realized this too while reading the book. When I'm anxious, I just keep quiet. But like before then, I wouldn't really notice that, your tone changes. But when you detach yourself from the issues, when you come back or when you sit, you can actually get the clear picture of that. And the way he portrayed leadership is active listening. We have heard that, we have learned that, we have read that, but putting it in a military perspective, I feel like it was very unique and clear. And like leaders trying to do everything by themselves, we are having issue with that in our leadership back home with our church, because our pastor is trying to take over everything, doesn't listen to nobody, doesn't he feel he's over everybody. He feels like everybody else decision making is honor him. He want to lead unilaterally. So like with this book, you kind of see how leadership failed if people do not work together. So I mean, like, it's a great book. I like it, and it has taught me to active listening, because I'm not good at listening. It also taught, like, I will listen, but I'm listening to respond. I think that's, I will actively listen, but I'm anxious to respond. But sometimes you don't need to respond. Thank you to everybody, and thank you, Josh, for the book. I will stop here and let somebody take over.
Thank
Hey,
you, Patrick.
Thank you.
Thank
thank you.
you.
You're welcome.
Well,
Anyone?
if yeah, if I may, okay. Josh, really appreciate your presentation and a very concise PowerPoint that you have put forward, especially the pictures. I was imagining the guy when I was reading the book or listening to it, I should say, but I never had the opportunity to go probably online or somewhere to look at him. And as soon as you showed him, strangely enough, I imagine, a strong guy like that, and it appears to be exactly who I was thinking of. Yeah, so I really appreciate it. And main points have all been touched, and I would like to start with my weakness, which is also the listening part. I learned it many times, and like Fatu just said, or Tata Korom also said, my problem is my brain just can't quiet. As soon as one, two, three words get into it, and then the things that, or sometimes I imagine where the person is going, and then I say, okay, you have to listen. You have 2 ears and then one mouth, so you have to listen twice and respond once. So I thought I learned that, but yet I get really bored sometimes or impatient, and sometimes if I'm listening and the person is not stopping, like the scenario that Colomb presented, it really gets on me, and the longer I stay, the worse my response becomes. So, okay, this is a, a good opportunity to learn again how to be a leader. And I do try. I know I try, especially with many of my subordinates that I have. And then sometimes Even some people, sometimes I'm on phone with other people and then they hear them react, and all I say is, okay, I understand. And people yell or boil up on the other side of the phone. Oh, is that one of the employee talking to you like that? And all you could say was just, okay, I understand. And sometimes I give a little tap to myself quickly and say, oh, today I've done it well. But most of the time, especially if the person didn't land, it's it's still a problem. And from this book, I learned that I have to work on it and take it. And mostly, I could tell the person, okay, I don't have enough time now. Please let us continue later, and then I will have more time to listen to all what you want to say and so on. So yes, thank you guys very much for saying that. And that was one key things that I noticed myself in the book, and I was thinking of. The second one, the detached. I read from other leadership book before, or even when I was working, that it is not just being detached from the problem, but whenever you are in a problem, sometimes it is good to just take a walk outside and come back. Get out of the environment where you are at least once, or just step back, think about something else, do something else very quickly, and come back to it. Or go share it with someone, something different. But when you are in the problem, you cannot find the solution, because the solution is always inside the problem. And you have to be outside of the problem to see not only the problem, but also the solution. And the other last point that I want to make is, being a leader, the true leaders are the servant. I wish we could read the book, the series of book, Lead Like Jesus. It will really help. I don't know if it will be appropriate for everyone, but Lead Like Jesus is a series of 4 books that I read that are very, very powerful, that consolidated my doctrine. This is the 19th job that I'm doing, which is mine, that I started in 2015. But before that, I worked in 18 different fields. And almost all the 18, I use that techniques, and I almost always move to the top. Just serve. Be willing to help everybody. Be willing to do it. Just focus on the work. Don't think about anything. If it is not time, the work will be finished. It is a secret that leads always to the top. If you are always ready to serve, like the leader who take out the trash, if you are in a field, I spoke with Steve, and I were discussing a little bit about the situation at his work, as certain people are not qualified for the job and so on, and then they are playing the game, wasting time just to make money. Don't look at anything. Be willing to do everything to the best of your ability, and you will be surprised. Look at nothing but your willingness to help anyone if it doesn't affect your, productivity. If it should get to a point, tell the person, oh, I have to complete this one, but give me a moment, I'll come back and help you. Just help them. Don't look at anything. Before you realize, not only you know your job, you know theirs, you are the one that the boss is calling to for help, and you are the one that the boss is giving more assignment, more assignment, more assignment. Before you realize, the boss himself is detached from most of the things that he is assigning to you, and without you, he cannot perform. You can't cough, he will sneeze. When you sneeze, he will have diarrhea. So that is how it is. And my experience, mine personally, either on the floor, working at the warehouse, in the restaurant, washing dishes or anything, that ability has always pushed me to the top. And I wish anyone, try it. Don't look at the burden. Just be happy accomplishing, and you will see how things turn over. You are definitely a leader. As soon as you start doing that, you help everybody accomplishing their own, and then the environment shows that you have to be out of that to help more people to do more. And quickly, you will always try to immerse yourself back in, but the top leaders will try to pull you out because they'll see a higher quality in you than doing the operation. And that is how it turns to be. So, in short, being a real leader is to serve, and serving more people make more people accomplish so much, but at the end in your name. That is why Josh concluded it so well by saying that the true test of leadership isn't what you accomplish, but what your team accomplishes because of you. It won't happen without your help, and just being willing to help everybody do whatever they are doing, you will see how much they will accomplish in your name. And that is why the Christians who are following the doctrine of Jesus today could do so much by giving hand to the least of the brothers that they have around themselves. And that is the same in all the other religions. I may have gone too far or too much of the time, but thank you guys. It's been a book that I really enjoyed. I finished it. There's a lot of repetition. I finished it, but repeated it again, almost finished it the second time. So thank you guys. It's a very good thing, and thank you so much for the lesson that you have taught me again tonight for the listening parts.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
No problem.
All right, Bill, you want to go?
Leon, you are mute. You're mute. I thought you were talking.
No, he's unmuted now. Go ahead.
Okay, first.
You want to say something, Leon?
Okay, first I want to thank Joshua for the great presentation. And I don't really have anything to say because I didn't really read the book.
Thank you, Bill.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I want to quickly go again by touching few points that I noted when other people were talking. It was remembering name. I don't know if we read a book already on memory techniques. There are techniques that you can use to remember people's name. When they tell you the name, you make sure to be listening. That's the most important, because sometimes when people say their name, we don't even listen to. We just, oh, yeah. No, you have to listen. And when you finish listening, you have to lock it with something on their face. So if there's a Tracy now, you might say, oh, Tracy, it seems like his nose is almost like T. Oh, and you make you make it funnier in your head by making that name like that. So there's techniques. I don't know if we have a chance to read other books on that. Otherwise, there are techniques to remember names, but it begins with listening. You have to listen to the name first. And also, Sister Fatu was saying, it's good to let other to come with the idea, and I feel like yes, definitely, because even though that you say, oh, I can raise people or I can raise children, if it comes to your own child, you tolerate a lot. So it's the same thing here. When you come, the follower come with their idea, it seems like it's their baby. It seems like it's their child. So they're in their mind, they want to tolerate more, saying that, oh, it's me who bring this one up. like my child. I had to do so. If they will tolerate up to 80%, they are ready. But if it is yours, your idea as a leader's idea, as soon as they reach 10%, they say, "Oh, look at, he doesn't even know anything. He doesn't know that 1+1 has to be 2, and why he's," and they don't want to do more than what is. So that's why this technique of letting your follower comes with the idea to make sure that it's like your own idea works better than anything else. And listening as well, as we come back to it, is to make sure that I have that in my house as well, where people want to cut you to jump in because they feel like, oh, the idea that I have now might gone if it's my turn, because they want, yeah, I have that issue in my couple. So hey, I want to talk. I say no. Even you want to do that, just lock it. You can put your hand somehow saying that, okay, I want to say something like this, but just let the other person finish. And when it comes to your turn, you remember that you put something aside and you start from there to go. And it depends. It depends. There are other people who like to talk, and there are other people who just want to talk because it's obligatory to talk. That's my case. I don't like to talk too much, but when it comes to talk, I can defend myself a little bit. So that's the problem here. Thank you a lot. Thank you again, Joshua.
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you. Um, so it is 9:49. I'm gonna go quickly. Um, First and foremost, thank you, Josh, for the um, wonderful, clear presentation that you had. It was clear and simple. Um, it goes straight to the message, and it was well understood. So thank you. This book um, reminded me a lot of about the super for culture, for team culture. I think Beyond was the one who presented that. It reminded me of that because of the leadership, how they spoke about leadership and stuff in that book too. Um, I think when we read a book, everyone takes it differently because we are all on a journey, and sometimes we are on a different um, different moment, different things going on in our life. So we tend to take whatever we read and assess it that way. Um, for me, it was really not thinking about the workplace. It was really thinking about what you do at home. Um, for one to be successful, I've been also in leadership roles, and I have understood one thing: leadership character begins at home. It begins where no one is looking and what you're doing, really. So it was a little bit more personal that way to me. And one thing that I really picked up from this book, and Joshua says something about it too. It says, people follow those who they trust. And it says, leaders are not those who are mighty, but those who, it's the little stuff of how people can relate to you, how people can trust you, how because that aspect is so essential. When there's no trust, there's no leadership. And you have to win the trust of those that you are leading, whether it's at home, whether it's at work. That trust is mandatory, and it's all about what? Do what you said you're going to do. It's so simple, but sometimes very complicated to human beings because we just don't follow up. And you will see a coworker talking to a leader in a certain way, and if you don't understand where things are going from and how the person feels, you would think they are being there have been difficult subordination and stuff. But really, leadership is how people can trust you when you do what you have to do. It's not only for work, but it's also for our surrounding, beginning at home, friends and family, really. Because if we cannot do it at our home, we will not do it at our workplace. You can have all the quality here and there. When people don't trust you and relate to you, it's very, very hard to lead. So that's one thing that really stood out to me. I was relating that to the super for the team culture too. And it just brings a lot of stuff home, perspective and understanding home to me. And I really appreciate everyone's input tonight. It seems like we always make a good thing happen, this good discussion on every single book that we read. And lately, books and idea has been entangled. You know, you could reflect, you read this and you reflect back on something we read. That means this stuff that keep coming back, it means something. It means something. And we don't only want to apply it to workplace, but we should also apply it to our personal life, reflect on things where we are, and how we can do things better, because there's always room for improvement, and it's never late to start good things anytime in life. And we don't have to have children or be grandparent before we do certain things. It's just something that we have to cultivate from the foundation, which is really when no one is looking, when we are trying to deal with friends and family or whomever it may be. So that's really, to me, where it starts from. And when you can do that, when you go to any leadership role, you're going to be wonderful, because there's some foundation that when you don't have, it's not at work. You may make believers for a while and people will think, oh, you're this, but your true self will always end up coming. So that's a little bit my takeaway. And I really thank everyone tonight for the input. Yeah. Anyone
Thank you,
has
Crystal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
no problem? Thank you.
Yes.
I just wanted to add quick to Charlie's discussion, that his point that he made when he said, like, uh, um, not just detaching yourself, but you can walk away. And that's what he talks about. So walking away, breathing, is all detaching yourself from the situation. Whenever there's a quarrel, there's something going on, once you walk away, you have detached yourself. You are no longer facing the issues. You have
Okay.
turned your back. So you have detached yourself.
Yeah. You bet. Yeah. Definitely. Got it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Pastor.
You're welcome.
So the next book is Falling Forward by John C. Maxwell, and I'll be the presenter. I know we read at least two books from John C. Maxwell, so I am looking forward to this. And I think this is if maybe I'm confusing it, this is the pastor. No,
Yeah.
it's not him.
Yeah.
Is
Yes,
it? Is
Yeah.
this
yes.
We
him?
read,
Okay.
He's the
All right.
pastor. Yeah.
Yes, he's been a
yeah,
pastor
we
for a
read
long
the
time and retired. Yeah. All
14th
right.
law of growth or something. Yeah.
we
Yeah.
read the 15 principle leadership or something like that from him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we read at least two good books
Yes.
from him. Yeah. The floor is open if anyone has anything to add before we conclude for tonight. We're 4 minutes away from 10 p.m.
Yeah,
Oh,
my thought is on the book. We promised that we will write a book, but it seemed like we totally forgot that. We put it on the back burner. We haven't go back to it, and I trying to use with AI to correct few things, and I put it in on that platform. So if we can go back and have some ideas, so we can finalize it's always good to work once and being paid several times than what we are doing now.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank you for the
guys.
reminder.
Yeah.
So I'll go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, don't worry.
No, I would like to just add that we are, full class today. We have Fatu with us, and the week after next week, she will be presenting Wabi Sabi. Remember, Nasif talked about it or heard about it. So Wabi Sabi in 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, but Fatu won't be here next week to introduce Christelle. So
So someone got to take. I'm the one who follow Fatu. I might be the one monitoring next week, and then Fatu will come back later. That's why I would like to talk about
okay.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
it. Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Thank
listen, that's
you.
all I
And
have.
also, I have the idea. So since Fatu schedule is not allowing her to come every Monday, I don't know if we are open to accommodate Fatu and choose another day. It's just a thought.
The reason I haven't come out to say like maybe I might not come because it's not going to be permanent. It's a new job that he got. Yeah,
Okay.
so we are just looking at maybe the 90 days. And then I can go back to maybe changing my schedule at work, but we are hoping. So it's not going to be permanent before we can change, and then we change again, and they change again at work. So
Right.
that's why. Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. No problem.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Shalom.
Mhm.
So, Takisa, you have the floor.
Yeah, I think just something to say with Fatu's schedule, like she said, if it's not permanent, we can always just adjust when she's not available and just let the following person that needs to be presenting after her, just like we're doing, just to accommodate till she has a final schedule. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Other than
Yeah.
that, I do not have anything, and it is 10 p.m. Um, I want to thank everyone, Joshua in particular, for the wonderful and clear presentation. Yeah, that's all I have.
Josh, can you send the PowerPoint to the group, please?
Yes, I'll do that. But
Thank
just
you.
to
Thank you.
warn you, I think the PowerPoint because
Okay.
it's from someone else's website. You might find a
Everybody's
few bugs
agree
in
to
there. The
studies.
whole idea is because they want you to pay. So I was using the free version.
Maybe
So
shouldn't begin.
you
Okay.
might
Okay.
No
find it.
problem.
Yeah, you
You can
might
start
find a
picking
couple
up
of
it
things
now.
that
Charlie, we
don't.
can hear you.
Yeah.
Charlie, you got to mute. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All
Mhm.
right. Thank
Sorry.
you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful night. See
Thank
you
you. Good
next
night, everyone.
Monday.
Bye bye.
Okay,
Okay, bye
bye.
bye.
Take care.
I'm so sorry, but thank
Bye.
you very much. I really appreciate everybody's comments and I enjoy it too. Thank you.